All right, here we are located back in the South Okanagan, one of my favorite vistas of a view of Osoyoos Lake in the Okanagan Valley. We are back with our pork chops, which we have brined. Minimum brine that I like to do, 3-4 hours, but even 20 minutes will help out. You know, the first time that I ever remember seeing a brine with any kind of protein, my grandmother would mix salty water. She'd add water or salt into water and put a raw egg in the water in its shell. And when that egg started to float was the point where her brine was about the salinity and the salt had dissolved enough to be appropriate to help the meat sort of break down, remove a bit of moisture from the inside of the meat, and that allows the absorption of more flavor from something like a sauce or a dry rub later. And it also helps the meat be a little more tender. So with our brine recipe that we included, we brined these 4 bone-in pork chops. And like I said, these ones for about 4 hours. So I'm gonna pull each little baby tomahawk out and just put it on our leaves here, and then I'll pat them dry. And you can see the color has lightened up a little bit. Like any protein that goes into water, it's going to lose some of its flavor. But in this case, we've imparted awesome flavors inside it. And a little bit of our dry rub again, the one we kind of use on everything this weekend. Just give it a little more flavor. We know we have enough salt. Now I probably should have pat that dry, but that's okay. Not a lot you can do wrong when you start barbecuing. Now today we're going to be grilling on some big green eggs. Barbecue is the art of everything low and slow. Grilling, obviously direct heat. So with a big green egg we get a combination of both. The controlled lower heat, the wood and the fruit smoke, which in the South Okanagan represents basically our flavor profile. One of the things I love about eating in the Okanagan here is that the food of the land is so represented in our local ingredients. So here you'll see that fruit wood, the fruit characters, the sun that's drying things out, and then things like our local pork that's foraged on, you know, local ingredients that definitely have that terroir flavors. All right, so my big green egg here is around 475 and this one's around 450. So great ambient temperature to start. If anything, on a little bit of the hot side. I'll know that this awesome volcanic stone is going to retain temperature, and my smoky fruit wood is going to give us lots of extra flavor. Always do a little bit of a visual to understand if anything's on my grill, making sure there's no food from before or whatever got left behind. So our big green egg, we have one at 425 and one around 475. A great ambient temperature to start. I visually inspected both of them, and I'm gonna pop this guy open here, take a little half apple or a half onion, and I'm just gonna rub it over top. Make sure there's nothing there, like a little piece of tin foil or something else that's gonna stick to my meat and make our experience not so great. So came out pretty clean, looks like we're good to go. So we'll start off with our chops. I'm gonna pick the slightly hotter grill. And presentation side down, I'm literally going to use these bones as handles and come right to the edge of this flame. I don't want to take the direct heat because I don't want to char these. Once they've gone on, I'm going to close the top here so that the flames die down. Then over here, we're almost at 500. So I'm going to slowly close this off a little bit. We've got our St. Louis ribs here. These guys, we spend 4 or 5 hours just about inside the Friedrich smoker over at Oliver Eats. And now we're gonna put these in our green egg and just give them that nice crisp finish. I really love the flavor the caramelized barbecue sauce gives when it's married overnight and had a chance to come back to life. Right off the bat, I'm gonna give this our barbecue sauce. And what this does is we get all those kind of caramelly flavors. And if we'd started off like this, we'll end up with burnt flavors. But because we're bringing it just back up to temperature, or le réchaud, as the French would say, we're bringing it to temperature. We're bringing the middle of the meat to up to service and then giving that awesome coating on the outside. All that time that it's already had means that we don't burn the sauce on the outside. So we've come up to around 450 over here. I see the smoke, I can even smell it a bit, and I get that awesome mesquitiness. The fruit woods background is very local. It's very terroir, BC. And really, they've barely had a kiss. So we're gonna have a bit of time here. All right, I'm looking at this now at 375. It's definitely, I can hear it, I can smell it. My sensory cooking is on, and I think we are ready to let them rest. So a little bit of awesomeness there. I might give it one little kiss of sauce again. And as this is really just the garnish and the finish, it's up to you. Some people love to kick it up with the spicy, more dry. Some people like to have it be the saucy and the wet. For me, I just like it to have the flavor. All right. Nice thing about a good set of ribs too is they can spend all afternoon relaxing. And then I'm gonna shut this down and let it sort of come back up to temperature so I don't have to clean it again. Now on our briny side, I think it's about ready that we flip these guys over. So you can see we have achieved full caramelization on the edges there. This is what they call in cooking the Maillard reaction. And it's that little bit of char that helps come through in Flavor Town. It changes the way that the protein reacts, and you get this little bit of sugary sweetness. Look at that bone. I'm gonna just take a little bit of the flowers and blossoms off our Russian sage, part of the sensory garden here at Rusk Winery. Put it right on top. Gives it a nice color. And then just to let these die down a bit, we're gonna shut it and stop that little bit of flame. Okay, couple more minutes and we can cut the ribs, add the chops, and eat. One of the things I like about working with the big green egg, it really exemplifies entertaining. Part of the South Okanagan for me is slowing down my afternoon, enjoying the, backyard patio and the barbecue, and I don't want to have to run inside, inside, outside. I don't want to have to smell propane. I like to smell my fruit wood. It's my excuse to spend time with my food and make my communion with what I'm doing. And sometimes for me, that's, especially now, that's my relaxation. Another thing I really enjoy about it is I don't have to manage or worry about a lot of the fire. Once I've got it started using a chimney, I'm able to pretty much control with the top here how much air is exiting and how much air with the venting down here is coming in. And that allows me to either increase smoke, release smoke, and still gives me the option to open the top up and grill. So it really gives you both opportunities. I've always been a fan, as most pit masters in barbecue are, of what I call a flying saucer style barbecue. But with your tin barbecues that have a smaller metal outside and exterior, you don't have that ambient temperature. So you're seeing flare-ups. You're waking up all night long to go out and check that brisket and make sure you're going to achieve that meteoric outside bark that makes barbecue really special. With the big egg, I'm able to walk away and in confidence know that my temperature is not going to flux up and down. That ambient volcanic stone really keeps the fire and helps the fire maintain a longer 200 degrees, which without one of these, it's gonna keep you up all night. So overall, really cool machine. And honestly, it looks cool. So 475, I am confident that we have achieved what we were after. Got a nice color here. Our sauce looks great. Little caramelization. So I'm gonna pull these guys off and head back over to our presentation. Okay, we are ready to serve our ribs. So I always prefer a nice courtesy cut just to make sure that everybody can enjoy it. So in this case, having these guys stand up here is the easiest. And sometimes I like to build a little log cabin. And this is obviously if we're sharing. And then these ones will cut into more of a little 4-packs. So if I was to serve a family style, you know what, I might even be able to get. And then we have the chops. If people are bold enough, they can just grab one like a hammer. And off we go. I like a little bit of dill with something like this because it's the freshest green that's in our produce this week. Lots of aromatics. And there you are. Perfect ribs, perfect chops for the perfect afternoon in Oliver Asoyas wine country. Oliver eats rust and the big green egg. How do you get any better than this? Enjoy.